Can you really build a shower pan without a shower pan liner? How does that even work? Can the average DIY actually build a shower pan and not have to worry about it failing? I think you can. Watch the video and you'll find out. Hey, Joe the Tender here. In this video I'm going to show you how to build a shower pan. Now this is one video of many that I have in this series. It's a custom shower series. You can go down and check out my YouTube channel, go to my playlist and go to my custom shower series, and you'll be able to go to see all of the videos that I have from the very beginning of this shower all the way to the end, and I think that they'll help you through your entire process of installing your shower. So go check those out. Anyway, I want to talk to you a little bit about pan liners. Now in the beginning I talked about pan liners. A pan liner is something that you put underneath the shower pan. So what needs to happen is the water needs to drain through the grout joints, through the thin set, through the pan, and then it hits that membrane, that liner, and drains to the drain to drain out. Now over time what happens is mold and mildew build up in there. And you'll maybe notice in some showers that you've seen or even that you have that you start getting black around the perimeter of the shower pan on the grout joints, and you scrub that off, get it all clean, and a couple days later it's back, right? Well, that's because of the mold and mildew that builds up in there. That shower pan, once you start using that shower pan gets wet and it never dries out because that water is just going to continue coming down. Where in the process that I'm showing you on how to do this shower pan, the type of drain that I used and things like that you'll see in this video and others that I've made, we are going to stop the water at the top of the pan. So it'll go through the grout joint, through the thin set, to the membrane that we have, and it will then flow to the drain. Then, when you're all done taking your shower, you have the rest of the day for that shower to dry out. And so it does not collect mold and mildew like the liner does. The liner's an old school method. We got new technology. It's time to get with it. Anyway, I am going to use a Kerdi membrane in the future here to waterproof this shower pan. That is like a fabric that you thin set down and then it becomes 100% waterproof. There's also other methods out there that I really like to use as a paintable membrane, which I like to use Hydroban. You might have heard of RedGuard. Now I prefer Hydroban because it's the highest quality product out there on the market. I've used it for years, have never had a failure. I just absolutely like the stuff. So if you want to go a different method and not use the Kerdi membrane, then check more of my videos out and you'll see. Anyway, let's get to the video. Let's watch. So real quick here, I want to talk to you about the curb. I have a different video that shows you how to build the curb and where to put it. But right now I'm just fastening some 2x4s to the floor as a temporary curb because it's a nice solid foundation to work off of when you're building the pan. But later on I'll replace that with Kerdi board, 2-inch Kerdi board here. Now I use this for building shelves and benches inside showers, and so I have some extra. Well, it works really well for building curbs too. So what I do is I stack a couple of pieces on top of each other, get a nice solid curb. We thin set that right to the floor and to the pan, and then I thin set another piece right on top. Once it dries, it's a really solid curb. It's 100% waterproof. Super simple to do this method this way. I really like it. So be sure to check out that other video. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm putting down tar paper and some wire lath here. Now typically I install this before I put the drain in, but I didn't in this case. And I just cut it around. It'll still work just fine. And then you just go around and staple this really well. Okay, I just want to talk to you a couple things about the wire lath. Now, you can get the wire lath from pretty much any home improvement store. Just get that. And what I want to talk to you really about is when you're cutting that lath, you want to make sure that you're wearing gloves. If you're not, you're going to bleed. I promise you that. It's going to get you. It pokes pretty good. It's when you feel it even with your hands without any of the cut edges, you can kind of feel that it's got some grab to it. So just be careful. Use tin snips to cut, or you can even use a cutting wheel on an angle grinder to cut it to size on what you need it. Just wanted to give you a couple of tips there with that. Now, you don't have to go buy a hammer stapler. That's a hammer stapler that you see that I'm using, and I use that for carpet and all sorts of things. So you don't have to go buy an expensive stapler just to do the shower pan. You can use one of those hand staplers that, you know, you might have that kind of stapler, or you can just buy some shingle nails and just go get some 3/4 inch shingle nails and put those in. I like to space out my staples and or shingle nails, whatever I'm using, it anywhere between 2 to 3 to 4 inches, somewhere in there. You just want to make sure that the wire lath is holding. It's really what it's doing is it's grabbing the shower pan and holding it to the floor. So just go ahead and load that lath up with staples or nails. Anyway, with that, let's watch. Okay, so what I'm doing is I went around the drain here, and you can see I put a few screws in. And now that's going to hold it and keep it level while I'm putting the sand mix in. And so then what I do is I figure out how I need to adjust it, and if it needs to go up or down. This side needs to go up a little. That's pretty level now. That way. And then also when I shove the sand mix under here, I'll put my level back on there again. My pan at the longest point to the drain is about 2.5 feet, give or take an inch. And so basically what you want is you want 1/4 inch per foot away from where the drain is. And so that would be a little over 1/2 inch that I would need to get a good pitch from here to here to get the proper slope. So I put these 2 pieces of Kerdi board down here. They're 1/2 inch. I brought this over to the wall. I made sure it's level. And I need a little bit more than 1/2 inch. Now that it's level, I got my 2x4 against the wall. So I need about 5/8 of an inch. I already have the Kerdi board down here, which is 1/2. And by the time I mark it right there, I added 1/8 on. It's about another 1/8 inch right there. I'm just eyeballing it a little bit. As long as you have the pitch a little bit more, that's okay, rather than too little. Okay, I just want to jump in here real quick. Now this 2x4 that you're seeing is a tool that we're going to use in this process, and I'll show you how and what we're going to do with it in a little while, but I want to explain to you why I'm using it right now. So if at the bottom of the 2x4 is actually where the pan is going to end. So what I'm trying to do is figure out a pitch from the drain to the wall right now, and what we're looking at is 1/4 inch per foot. And so with 1/4 inch per foot, you really are going to get good draining to your shower. Now if you have pebbles, I don't know if any of you might be using pebbles. Pebbles seem to be pretty popular right now. You can go even a little bit more than that, maybe 5/16 per foot or 3/8 per foot, just to give yourself a little bit more pitch so that the water drains. Pebbles seem to drain a little slower than like a 2x2. So sometimes I even like to get a little bit more than that. But let's go and talk now. We want the pan to be level all the way around the shower. Now this is a basic 3x5 shower. A lot of showers I do, you walk in, you turn right, then you turn right again. Some of those showers you can tweak a little bit on the pitch when you get out in the areas where there's not water or a lot of water. You can bring that pitch down a little bit once you get to that area. Now if you have a situation like that and you want to message me, I can help walk you through that. But basically you want to always stick by the farthest away from the drain, figure that out, and it's going to be 1/4 inch per foot. Now, you want it to be level, and there's going to be areas inside your shower that have more pitch because you're going level all the way around. So don't worry about that. That's normal. That's just the way it is. And I mean, you don't want to adjust anyway when you get farther away. You don't want to have your tile being 8 inches on one side and then 8.5 on the other as far as the bottom row tile goes. Plus, if you shrink that up at all, what's going to happen is the water's going to pool up there and you're not going to be able to get it to drain. So just go with this. If you have an awkward shower, again, contact me. I'll help you out if I can. Well, here, let's watch some more of the video. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this 2x4 right up to that line, and I'm going to make sure I'm level. Now I know I'm level. I still see that line, but I'm going to make a mark down here and another one down here. I'm also going to bring this all the way over tight, and then I'm going to make another mark right there. Okay. And I'll use this 2x4 that's a little smaller for this side. Once I have it level, then I just make another mark, and I could just draw a line all the way across. Now, the pan, I'm marking this line to line this up with the 2x4 during the pan installation, because I'm going to use this 2x4 to make the shower pan level the entire way, and I'm going to bang this 2x4 down until the sand mix gets nice and packed right there. And this is actually where the pan is going to end, down here. So this line is just a guide for me to use this as a tool. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to mix the sand mix. Now, sand mix is something that you can get at a tile store or any kind of flooring store. If you go to your local flooring store and ask them, or tell them, hey, I'm building my own shower pan, I really need to get some shower pan mud. Can you help me out with that? If they don't have it for sale, they're going to be able to get it for you or tell you exactly where you need to go. Now, in most bigger cities, you're going to be able to go to a store where I would go, like a tile distributor, and you'll be able to go in there and buy thin sets, shower pan mix, wire lath, everything that you're going to need, tools. A lot of them will sell everything that you're going to need to be able to take care of these things, for these supplies for your shower. So if you live in a small town, more than likely your local flooring store is going to carry this, because their installers need to get it from somewhere. As far as the big home improvement stores, I don't have a clue why they don't sell the type of sand mix that you need. No one does. They really don't. I've seen it at Lowe's a few times, but it's really expensive there. You can make your own, but I would just suggest that you go find some that's already pre-mixed. Use that. I seem to have the best results doing it with something that's pre-made for that. But anyway, it was 30 below in northern Minnesota when I was shooting this part of the video. The cabin that I was in was all plasticed off. So I'm just giving you this little tidbit because I don't need to get a bunch of messages from people about this situation. So with that, what you want to do is you want to add a couple of quarts of water. Now you want to read the bag to make sure. Usually it's about 2 quarts, maybe a little more than 2 quarts for a 50-pound bag. You just want to get it dumped into one of these pans, and now you're going to start mixing it. Now by the time we're done mixing this, it's not going to be very wet. Okay, so I'm ready for the sand mix now. I just went out and mixed it, and I made sure that I have it wet enough where it makes like a snowball when it's packed together and it doesn't fall apart. Anyway, I'm just gonna dump it in right now, both buckets. This is a little small of a shower, so I can reach the whole thing without even getting into it, which is nice. I do have another video that shows a bigger shower. But basically, I'm gonna get more sand mix in here right now. We're mixing more up right now, and I'm gonna get the edges first, packed down, and underneath the drain. So I know that I gotta be below this line, but above it, because that 2x4 is 3.5 inches. We wanna be above that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around and I'm just gonna pack the edges. I'm using a grout float right now. But you can get away with doing this with a grout float and just a small flat trawl. Okay, you can see that's 2 bags so far. That's 100 pounds. That's all I've been able to do so far. I'm using for a 3x5 shower here, we're using probably 5 bags, maybe a little bit more. Now if you couldn't reach the shower all the way, you wouldn't do the whole perimeter first. You would just work your way whichever way is coming out the door of the shower. You'd still follow the same thing that I'm doing now. And just so you can see, I stuffed some rags or toilet paper down there to stop anything, and that'll all keep in there the entire installation. But now I'm just taking my hands here and I'm really getting this packed underneath the drain. I'm wearing gloves. I would wear gloves because this does have a chemical in it and it can make your hands raw after a little while. So now I'm going to pack really good around this drain. And I packed around the edges. Okay, so now that I got my 2x4 down here, now I'm going to pound this 2x4 down with a rubber mallet until I get to that line, until I can see that line. Don't hit your fingers, but you can see the line showing now. And that's one of the reasons why I don't pack the middle yet, so it can push it out while it's packing down. And now you can see that's where the end of the shower pan is gonna be. Now I cut 2x4s, obviously you can see, to fit all the areas. My 2x4 is already dipped down below that line out here, so I need to put more sand mix in here. Now I'm gonna rough this up so that the sand mix I put on there will bond to it. That's better. Now I'll just slide my 2x4 forward, pull some of that away. And I'm going to do the same thing. Now I'm going to bang it till I get to that line on the edge of the 2x4, you can see, because I don't have a line snapped over here, obviously. Okay, so now I'm spreading the sand mix and I'm getting it a little bit above, at least a ½ inch above all the areas that are already packed. And you can kind of take a longer trowel here now and just try to make it somewhat even. And I'd rather scrape some off than have to add more. And then I'm just going to take my grout float and start going right around the drain in a circle. Just keep going out, back and forth, in a circle motion. Now I have to start removing some. I'm going to go around all the edges again. You can see how it's a little high over here. I have to dig some of this out. if you go all the way around. And I usually like to go in a half circle motion so that it's going to still flow to the drain. And don't worry if you take too much out, you can always add more back in. And then I start getting rid of some of it back into a bucket. I got this 2-foot level that'll kind of see and show you if there's any humps or gaps. I'm just going to kind of run it. So that all looks pretty good in there. Short sides are pretty easy. If you can't shove anything in there, you basically can just use your grout float for this. And just make sure you tap it down and get it nice and smooth and level to where the edge was into the drain. And if you get your mud a little too wet, once you start tapping it, you're going to notice there's going to be a lot of water that's going to start coming out. So you don't want to get your mud too wet. It gets harder to work with then. Okay, so I'm putting the finishing touches on. And I'm smoothing it out. And then I'm going to spray it with some water. But I spent probably an hour on this, and it still has tons of working time left. So you do have a lot of time to make this right. And you don't have to worry if you don't get something absolutely perfect. You can always touch it up with thin set. And I forgot my good water bottle at home, so I just had my daughter empty a Windex bottle and we'll use that. Just give this a really good dousing and that'll be it. We'll let it sit, and tomorrow we will start working on the tile. Before I even attempt waterproofing this pan, I'm definitely going to let it dry out for a few days. So as you can see, this isn't as hard as maybe you thought. You can do this. I know that you can. Just follow the tips that I share in here and the methods that I share, and you're going to get through this no problem. I know that you will. Now, again, like I said in the beginning of the video, this is part of a custom shower series that I have on my YouTube channel. If you would like to see more, go check that out. You'll be able to see this entire shower done from the very beginning all the way to the end. Just follow the videos along. Now, I know that things can get overwhelming when you're doing a custom shower and you've never done it before. I've been there. I had my first shower just like you many years ago, and here I am today. I made it through. And I know that you can do it. Just follow one video at a time. You don't need to watch every video in the series all at one time. Just do one at a time, follow through, go do those steps in your shower, and then come back. If that takes you a week to go do it, then come back in a week and watch the next video. You can do this. I know that you can. Anyway, if you could hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel if you like what you're seeing. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you. And remember, Jesus Christ can save us all. He saved me. I know He can save you. Have a great day.